What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie. We're
Yes.
back. We watched the F1 kind of
Yeah.
races this weekend. There were two, so I could say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just wanted to kind of get into it. So,
Yeah.
Millie, I mean, do you want to just start off with your thoughts?
Yeah, F1 race this weekend. Overall, down in Miami, I thought the race was okay. I think it was a good bit of action at the start of the race, and then it kind of tailored off for the middle, I don't know, like 30 laps or so of the race. And there was a little bit of late drama with Charles, with the Ferrari, and, the spin, and all that sort of good stuff. So, yeah, basically just wanted to get into it, kind of continue what we were chatting about earlier this morning, and kind of talk about some of my frustration right now, like within the paddock, I guess you could say, primarily surrounding like Ferrari. I think like as one of the most historical brands in the sport, Ferrari really should be answering for why the car is struggling this much. There are clear developmental issues that are going on that Mercedes and that McLaren are not dealing with on the same level as Ferrari. To bring the most upgrades of any team to Miami and for the performance to still be struggling,
Yeah.
it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. I don't understand what's happening at the Ferrari factory, or I don't understand what is the difference in between the air chamber and when they actually get on track. But there is something not progressive about the upgrades they're bringing to this Ferrari, because we're just not seeing the performance step forward. I think like every race week we're waiting to see, oh, when are the Ferraris going to tap in? When are the Ferraris going to lock in? And it's like every week the other teams are
I
outperforming them
know. I
across
just
the
don't really
board.
understand how that keeps happening, though.
I genuinely don't know. Like, I'm not sure what exactly is going wrong from development to like the performance on track. But something needs to be done in that sense,
Absolutely.
because we're looking at the Mercedes. They're pulling away. Antonelli continues to win, continues to have a fantastic season for him. But I think more than just like Antonelli's breakthrough, but I think when you're comparing like the Mercedes to the McLaren to the Ferrari, it is like there's a clear hierarchy in those three teams.
Yeah.
Even the Red Bull this weekend, obviously Hadjar crashed out, but with Max's vehicle, I mean, he started after his spin, he dropped down to like 10, 11th place. He pitted during the safety car and dropped down to 17th, and he was still able to finish what, 5th place or whatever it was for the race. So I just feel like where is that? Where is that sort of ability in this Ferrari? We know the drivers have the ability,
Right.
but I feel like even what we're seeing from like Lewis, like racing in no man's land, kind of. His car picked up some damage from the crash in the first lap, but then it's just like we don't hear radio messages. We're not hearing like any information as to why the Ferrari is like slower, why he
Right.
can't gain on people. It's just like I don't know. It just felt like a very nothing race.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of did. We watched the beginning. It was, yeah, like Millie said, really exciting, a lot happening. Max spun out. There was that whole drama and
Yep,
all
yep.
of that. But then after that, I mean, both of us were kind of like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely like a sleeper.
Nah.
Like there wasn't a ton of like that action, a ton of that like I don't know, like pull that really kept you in. There were
Yeah.
some midfield battles which were slightly interesting, some backfield battles, that happened. Both Williams got points, which is great for them. But yeah, I just think like overall in terms of like the disruption of the top teams, like I would really love to see Ferrari like genuinely be in the mix. I think every time they're up there right now, it's like a survival mode gets activated. It's like we got to try and hang on to this podium, but it's never like they're racing secured for a podium. And I think that that's a little bit of the frustration. Obviously, we saw Lewis Charles get on podium earlier the weekend that both McLarens literally didn't race. But that's kind of like my point. Is like, what is Ferrari doing to get into the podium positions in race weekends where everybody is racing? Like that really is the difference. Like, how can we
100%.
get Charles on pole? How can we get Lewis on the front row? Like, to bring that many upgrades to Miami and to still be that far behind
Well,
was disappointing.
right. And like, I don't know, what do you think would be a solution to that?
I honestly, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know what the solution is in terms of like how they can extract more performance from the car. I'm not sure, but like, like with what we've seen from the past seasons, I haven't heard much about Ferrari trying to steal an engineer from McLaren or trying to grab an engineer from Red Bull. Like all of these other teams are grabbing these key players from other teams to try and uplift their team. I'd love to know like what Ferrari is doing in that sense. Where are you going with development? What is the point? Are you trying to be a third place vehicle, or are you racing for the world championship? Like that is what I would love to see. I know it's a long season. I know it's early in the season. I know that the car has a lot of time to develop over the course of the season. But the thing is that the other teams are going to be doing that as well.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you're already this far behind, what are you doing to close the gap now, next weekend, by Canada? You know, like that is my question. Because right now, as it stands, neither Ferrari driver are really in the mix.
Yeah,
they're genuinely not in the mix. Charles might have a phenomenal lap and qualify well, but it's very obvious the Ferrari doesn't have the performance to hang into that position throughout the duration of a race.
Well, right. I mean, obviously, where did he finish before the penalty?
Before the penalty, he was 6, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
6, and then dropped.
So yeah,
down. So
I mean, and he qualified pretty high up.
Yeah, he qualified in 3rd. I mean, he got front row with the qualification, but again, that's over 1 lap. So it's like the performance still just isn't there over the duration of a race, and I think that that's really the big issue. And then also with Charles, like he always is ready to race and have smoke with Lewis when Lewis is close to him, or when Lewis is passing him, or if Lewis is in even an attempt at being the lead Ferrari. Charles is ready to battle. He's ready to fight. He's ready to cut people off and race close and do all those things. Where is that smoke for the McLaren drivers? Norris was ahead, but Piastri just scooted right past him, no issue at all. Obviously, later in the race when he had the car issue, he was never really going to be able to defend against George and Max at that point. But earlier in the race, I'm like, where's the fight? You got these guys passing back by you, and you're not fighting as hard as you fight Lewis. I don't know. I'm just like, same with Max, right? It's just like everybody is ready to smoke with Lewis and ready to race Lewis and fight Lewis on track and race close to him and try and pass him back and all of that stuff. Where is that for the other racers?
I know.
Like, please bring that smoke. The commentators really irked me this weekend talking about, oh, yeah, so-and-so is just going to let Max pass because they know that Max is not in their midfield fight. So they're not even going to worry about that. What? The point of racing is to win the race and finish higher up the field than other racers. If I'm a mid-pack driver, why the hell wouldn't you cut off Max Verstappen and make it difficult for him to try and get through and make it tough? You could potentially disrupt a former world champion in race. And the commentators are talking about, oh, that's not their fight. They're going to let him go. That shit was pissing me off.
That
like, no,
crazy.
Fight, race, everybody try to win. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't really like how it's like, I don't know, it's like 2 different races.
Yeah.
It's like the top teams and then like the bottom teams. But it's like, I don't know, I personally would want to see like the whole table, I don't know what else to call it. Yeah. The whole thing, like I want to see everyone racing each other. Like I don't want to see McLaren 1-2, Mercedes 1-2. Like I want to see other people mixed in up at the top, because I feel like that would make it way more
interesting. Like, I feel like, as Premier League fans, as footy fans, you go into every weekend on, you hope your team brings their A game and plays well, but there is always a chance they could lose a match. There's always a chance that someone can outpossess or finish their opportunities, something like that. And with F1 right now, it just really doesn't feel like that. You never feel like Williams might go and sneak a win. You never feel like Alpine might go and sneak a win. Never. It literally doesn't happen. And that is a reflection of the sport, and it just really, I don't know. It's just kind of disappointing to see. There needs to be, I think, a little bit more disruption in the order, a little bit more disruption in terms of like where the race is happening. Because to your point, it shouldn't be a 10-on-10 race, a top half versus bottom.
They added 2 more racers and it stayed the same.
And I mean,
I just feel like the F1 movie made it seem like that's what it would be like. If anyone got into F1 from the F1 movie,
oh god.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
just not the
and
reality
and,
of the
and for people who
situation.
watch F1, that's the reason so many F1 fans were frustrated with the F1 movie, because it wasn't actually made for people who watch the sport with
It
their eyes.
wasn't.
Talking about taking all these little penalties and purposely damaging your car for a safety car, that's illegal. That is called race fixing, which is exactly why the Alpine general manager right now was banned from the sport for decades. That is what he was doing, match fixing. And they just put that in the movie as if that was a normal part of the sport. Mind blowing. So yeah, anyway, I think it was a pretty like frustrating weekend. I really hope that we'll get more action, more passing, more like actual action in next weekend. And of course, like we want to see the Ferraris do what they're meant to do. Historic club. I'd love to see the GOAT back near the top and see the GOAT competing for podium positions, which is exactly what you would expect to see when you race for a club like Ferrari. And so I think there is some more pressure on the Ferrari garage and on the
Definitely.
team to develop a better car to put Charles and Lewis in a better position.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was our thoughts on this weekend's Formula One race weekend down in Miami.
If you made it this far,
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.